anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UPNradio.com.
Everyone is a product, and everyone needs marketing to succeed. Let's talk about it right now on the C-Spot. Going to market with Wendi and Peter.
Hey, Peter, I always want that jingle to just keep on going.
Right.
I don't know why.
That's a very nice jingle.
Yeah, and hello, everybody. It is Thursday, July 3rd. We're here in studio at Gower Sunset Studios. And, Peter, could you turn up my headphones for me, please?
I will, and there's actually another thing I have to deal with, that our feed is not going live for some reason.
Okay, so maybe Jamal can come on in here. Because I don't see the feed live either.
Yeah.
And it would be really great if it was. So, hey, Jamal, dude, can you come on in here, please? Or Ann. Or anybody. Don't leave us. See, now I'm not used to not being on video, so what am I doing? Right, because the cameras aren't on. Is that what the problem is, Peter?
Yeah, because the cameras are on, but they're not feeding.
They're not feeding. Okay, so this is really great because...
But he's fixed. There we go. We are live on camera.
Okay, because I was just in the middle of talking straight to the camera. Anyway, Peter, how are you?
I am good, Wendi, all things considered, definitely.
It is almost 4th of July.
Yes, tomorrow is the 4th of July.
And you're not coming to our barbecue. Marino had the parking space all mapped out for you and everything. He asked me this morning, no, we have to save the one in the back for Peter. And I said,
right.
No, Peter's not coming. Peter's not coming. And anyway, I can't see this show. Oh, there we go. I can see it now.
There's you, and now I just need to fix the... It is not, we can't switch screens, but don't worry about that right now. It's all on you.
I want to show everybody my hand. Peter, can you see this? Can you see
totally.
my hand?
Yikes.
It's like I went spinning this morning. I walked to my car. I got in my car. I did not touch anything with this hand. Not anything. And I looked down and my hand looked like that, and it hurts like hell. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre. I hope it's not like a thrombosis and it's going to give me a heart attack or something. Anyway, I'm going to the emergency room after the show. Today's show is very, very, Peter's over here. We just got here. Peter was a little late because somebody parked and blocked his van in. And he couldn't, he's doing all of his pre-board work right now. Right, because we have a great guest.
Yeah, and
right?
ironically today, our main technicians aren't here and everything. But yes, we are getting everything fixed.
Are we getting there?
We're getting there.
Are you ready or not? You tell me when Steve calls, okay?
Well, he's on the air right now.
Oh, he's on.
Yeah, so he's just waiting for us to introduce him.
Oh, see how ridiculously uncoordinated we are today. Anyway, all right. So our guest is super cool. He was, from what I understand, my email I got last night from Steve Greenberg. He was on the Today Show today. He is the author of Gadget Nation, and it's a journey through the eccentric world of invention, which, boy, you and I both have been traveling that road for a long time. Steve, welcome to the C-Spot.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be on. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I am discombobulated because we're both discombobulated. Oh, Jamal, honey pie.
It's fixed.
I don't really mind if you...
It's fixed
now. Jamal, see me? Yeah. Can you bring me a water? Yes. Thank you. All right. Steve, sorry.
So hi, Steve. This
Live
is Peter.
Radio.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Can Jamal bring me a water too?
Yeah, exactly. So you were on the Today Show this morning.
I did it this morning. It went out live. I'm still wearing the same shirt, so it must have been live. So yeah, this morning we did pool and beach gadgets. In fact, I think I even sent the link to.
You did. You sent it to me, Steve, and we tweeted it out today already.
Peter does that all. Hey, Steve, I hate to just give me a moment. Peter, I really need my headphones turned up. Please,
okay.
I beg of you.
Okay.
I beg. I have to beg there you go.
All right.
I have to beg every man in my life, Steve. What is this? What is up with that?
Usually the men are begging the women, so this is very confusing.
I know. What's up with that?
So, Steve,
what's up with that?
It's really incredible. I met you in Chicago, and you were on the panel, and I was moderating. I had been on that panel, not moderating a few times prior to you being on that panel, but It's the Inventor's Corner, and you were there. I don't know if you were there last year or any other year. The genesis of that wonderful corner is, we brought it there in, I think it was maybe 2001, 2002, in order to give education and opportunity. That was our goal originally, to inventors in a safe forum. And it's really remarkable how this year it became really fantastic. And you were on the panel and you saw some of those amazing passionate and incredible inventors.
No matter how many years I'm in the world of invention, I'm still forever being blown away by cool new products I see. And, sometimes I'm not, but so many times I am. People will come up with something that either something like, oh, I should have thought of that myself, or I don't think I could have thought of it myself. But one product after another, I do a lot of product scout work, and it's so wonderful to find these products and then hopefully make them into successes. So and doing that show is great because it definitely opens your eyes up to a bunch of products. You also see what problems everybody seems to be tackling. Like one year it's all about buttering corn. It's like a million butter corn products.
Yeah,
the next it's about trash. There seems to be like a wave of problems that need to be solved, and they just keep going around and around. It's interesting.
Yeah, we have a joke in that that panel circuit. We have a joke like it's, if I see one more toilet product like that to lift the lid without touching it, that went around for a while. It was like you had the foot pump and and this and the other thing, and coming from a direct response background, we always say it's very difficult to show bathroom or toilet products, although oddly enough, that's not the case this year. But you're right. It does go in waves. But what's really wonderful, and I was reading, I was stuck in traffic actually on the way over here. And so I was reading an interview someone interviewed you. I can't say really quickly where, because I don't know, but I thought it was fascinating because you have that same love for the entrepreneur and the inventor. Well, you know what? Let me say inventor, because entrepreneurs and inventors are two very different things. What's your take on that?
Well, I think, all working inventors are entrepreneurs, but not all entrepreneurs are inventors. So I think that's kind of a subset relationship. I mean, you can be an inventor and not be an entrepreneur. You can come up with a great idea and be done with it, or hand it off in a licensing deal.
Right.
But if you're a successful practicing inventor, you're an entrepreneur because you come up with an idea, you've invented something, and now you have to open a business to sell it. And I'm always amazed because not only do they invent the idea, but at the same time they're reinventing themselves. So they start off as a school teacher, and the next thing you know, they're running a pet toy factory or whatever it is that they ended up coming up with. So you invent the product and reinvent yourself at the same time.
Do you think that is one of the primary struggles? I mean, that's why I created the educational element of all of these inventor things, is because the inventors aren't necessarily educated on the business side of what they're getting themselves into. They could have the hottest thing since sliced bread, but they might not have the ability to be that entrepreneur and that invent.
Absolutely. There's just because you're a great inventor doesn't mean you're a great entrepreneur, or vice versa. And I think that's certainly the case. In fact, it usually is the case. Any skill set, you need to make mistakes, and if and then they're costly and they're time consuming, and they can stop you from going forward. So, to be a good entrepreneur, you're going to have to make some mistakes. That's why I always encourage inventors to go to, inventor associations around the country so they can meet with other inventors and hear their mistakes so they don't repeat them. So maybe they can knock off, 40% of the mistakes.
Exactly.
Still make 60%, but not,
exactly.
Not the 100% they would be making otherwise.
Right, and not the ones that are going to cost them their lives. It's funny because in this article, I always when I do this stuff, I always talk about the garage inventor, and I didn't really know that was actually a name for inventors until I was reading this article of an interview you did, and you were saying how, you started to meet all of these garage inventors, and I thought, Yeah.
I don't know if I coined it or not. I actually want Gadget Nation was originally going to be called Garage Inventors or some name with the word Garage Inventors in it. But it's funny. Like on the Today Show, I actually used the term this morning, sort of, but I didn't want to use Garage Inventor because every time I say that, Kathy Lee Gifford looks at me like, huh? She doesn't seem to understand what a garage inventor is. So now I just say Mom and Pop Inventor, and that she seems to embrace. So she thinks a garage inventor means they've invented a garage or things for the garage. So and I've actually tried it a few times, and it hasn't. And I'm figuring if she's not getting it, then there are a lot of viewers that aren't getting it. So this morning, I literally said, these are a lot of mom and pop inventions because that people seem to understand.
Yeah, that's funny because they, for the garage inventor, I think I say that too sometimes, and I think people look at me oddly, and
right.
And then I'll follow it up with
the common sense way of describing what these people are, but
yeah, they're in their garage inventing.
They're in their garage inventing. Yeah, exactly. But I just don't. I don't know. I certainly think of them that way, and I use the term. Like I said, it's almost the title of my book. But I think I think the general public may not have completely embraced the word. Mom and pop inventors seems to work.
Yeah.
That's what, again, and I'm looking at Kathy Lee Gifford. She's my general audience when I'm talking.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly. Well, God forbid we just, we won't call them the Redskin inventors.
No.
Whoa. Hey, Peter, you're chomping on the bit over there. I know what a big fan you are of Steve's.
Yes, I am.
So have at it, dude. You can, enjoy.
Well, since we're on the topic of the Today Show, Steve and Kathy Lee and Hoda and stuff like that, we've got a couple clips. So we didn't get your clip from today uploaded, but we've got a clip from you showing them. I've just got about a minute clip here. I'm just going to show our audience of you showing them a bed invention.
Okay.
So we are going to show that for a moment.
Are you
here.
watching online, Steve? Are you watching the show as we air?
You know what? I should be, because that would be smart if I did that. And maybe I'll do that right now.
Okay, well, you put on your smart hat while we watch this clip.
And of course, just keep the sound down a little bit. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're back on this Booze Tuesday with more today. Do you remember life before remote controls, before microwaves, before cell phones?
Before Hoda and I slept together? If you're Hoda's age, you do remember that.
So what's the newest technology that you won't be able to live without?
Our gadget guy, Steve Greenberg, scoured the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas for the latest products that could be staples in your house.
And Steve's also the author of Gadget Nation.
Yes, he is. Hello, Steve.
I finally got you two in bed. It was tough. But coming it out. Okay, this is from the folks at Serta, and this is an adjustable frame and also a eye comfort bed. But what's really cool about it, it's Bluetooth, so you can play your music directly through speakers.
Are you plugging it in?
It's wirelessly. There's speakers in the back, a subwoofer underneath you guys.
Can you put your own music on there?
Absolutely, any music you want.
The piano guys, we love them.
Yeah, they're great.
And we've got massaging ability built into it, so there we go.
Yes,
massaging action there. It's got an underlight as well.
All right, Steve. So that was a fun clip of you showing Kathy Lee and Hoda some inventions on a bed there. How long?
Oh, right. That's, I think from CES that was.
Yeah, exactly. You were bringing the best of CES.
That's funny. I had to reboot my computer. Are you watching the show now, Steve?
I'm not, because it's I'm kind of. It didn't happen, but I'm listening very carefully, so I'm good.
Excellent.
All right,
yeah, today was all beach and pool stuff, so I got to wear shorts and flip flops, which is a real treat. So that was like kind of like a day off on the show for me.
Well, hey, is Invention Hunters on that? It's on Food Network, right?
Yes, it's on the Food Network,
and it's a continuing series on Food Network.
Well, I think I should preface it. I mean, we had a full season. We did a bunch of episodes, and we haven't done more since. It's really, and the Food Network still runs it. It still runs various times in their schedule. Yeah. But they haven't commissioned us to do more of them. So I don't know if there's going to be more or not. It's kind of an open-ended arrangement. So, but at this point, they're still out there. They're still on Food Network. I still get emails related to them. It's not. I don't think it's not in current production.
I was going to kind of segue that into how cool it is too, because I think, Peter, you have it on the list, and it was something interesting to talk about how the products kind of featured on the Food Network, which were all associated to do with food, gadgets or whatever.
Housewares.
Yes, housewares. That could then segue into maybe a Food Network line of products. Is that what you were? Did I not read that? That's what you wanted to.
No, but I mean that's definitely
how
an
interesting was that, Steve?
Well,
could that have happened?
I mean, I don't think I'd be revealing any big, deep, dark secret. But when we did the show, they took our real lives and kind of tweaked it to be a reality show, which is fine. But one of the tweaks was that we had to bring the products to Lifetime Brands, which is a company I've worked with for years. Great company. They make 1 million products. I think they are the world's largest housewares distributor, manufacturer. So they were a great company to work for, but they don't do products with cords for anything, nothing with electrical. So we couldn't really look at products that had electrical because we couldn't bring them because the fourth act had to be at Lifetime Brands because Lifetime Brand has a relationship with the Food Network.
So it made it hard enough.
In some ways, our hands were tied.
Yeah.
We couldn't just look at a product and say, wow, this is a great product. Let's bring it to who we think is the right person to do the licensing deal. Because even getting a licensing deal is only half the job.
Right.
You really have to get a licensing deal with the right company.
Right.
You get the licensing deal with the wrong company, they may not have the distribution, they may have the desire to really push it, and it kind of just sits on the shelf, and you got a deal, but you're not getting money.
Exactly.
So that was, I think, one of the flaws to the setup, which I loudly voiced early on. But that's just the nature of television. That Food Network wanted that arrangement. I said the Food Network should wait till we were hugely successful, and then start to clamp down and make it so they make
well,
money
they
on
have
every
to.
deal. But
Yeah, they have to. It all the back end of everything gets super complicated. I mean, I'm sure you know that. Even with Shark Tank, it's like how many of those deals really happen? I mean, they get
most of those deals don't really happen.
Right.
But at least one thing Shark Tank did was just smart. First season, you signed a piece of paper and you were married to ABC and you were married to the producers, and it was really a horrible deal. I have to give Mark Cuban credit. When he joined the show, he said, I'm not going to do this if you're going to have those deals. I don't want these people to be locked into this. And that actually, the show went to a whole new level, not only because I think Mark Cuban brought a lot to the show, but also because more interesting inventors flocked to the show because they didn't have their hands tied or locked in with the producers.
So was it true? I mean, I had heard, and because Kevin Harrington was on that show for the first couple of years, who's a good friend. Never probably did one deal, but he had mentioned, and I thought I saw in a contract that actually the production company, which is Mark Burnett, got 5% if you were just on the show. If you didn't, it didn't matter if you got a deal or you didn't get a deal.
That was the case until Mark Cuban signed on.
Well, bravo for Mark.
That's what I heard. He eliminated all that.
Bravo for Mark, because you know what? That is the thing that pisses me off is when people take advantage of the vulnerability of the inventor, and that was, for me, that was like, really, guys? You're really going to do that?
Let me switch hats, though, because some people go on that show with no intention of getting a deal.
I know.
Because they just want the exposure on a national show like Shark Tank. So before you, and that's why ABC said, we still want 5% because you're going to have a lot of success because you're riding on our bus. So we want to take 5%. And that was the reasoning behind that. So, nothing is all black or all white. And this is certainly one of those examples.
Well, couldn't they have made it that you have to accept the deal? Because I'm not going to waste time talking about Shark Tank, but I think that maybe there was other ways. Maybe there was other ways. We could have gone about making the deal. You know what I mean? But
as far as invention hunters, Steve, those were all legitimate deals and everything?
Yeah. Well, we got 4, I think out of the 9 products we showcased, we got 4 real licensing deals. But in 2 of those cases, the products themselves didn't do what they had to do, or ultimately, again, when you get to the contracts and the fine print, they didn't sign on. So just 2 of the products actually are out there from the show. That's Produce Freshies and Mary's Marinating Sticks are actual products that are hitting stores, in both cases in limited market, not national release, because they're trying to see how well it does in those markets. And then they'll expand it accordingly. In the case of Mary's Marinating Sticks, they're thinking about putting a celebrity endorsement on it, and that will make that relaunched. Produce Freshies, I'm not quite sure where that is, but I know that one has gone all the way through the process.
Yeah, bringing the products to market, that's That's the reason that I do this fun little hour. It's like, we talk about everything, but we talk about, the expertise. But the basis of it is that it is freaking hard no matter who you are, what you have to bring the product to market. It can be really the rockinest best idea in the world, like my EasyGo Pro. Oh, excuse me, I just didn't say that, did I? But anyway.
Shameless plug. Go on.
No. Actually, I run my commercial as a commercial when we do a commercial break also. So that's the hardest thing, is to bring the products to market. Even when you get a licensing deal, it's difficult to bring them to market. But I want to switch a bit of a gear, because I am so interested in how do you find your products? What's your search? What's your journey? What does your week look like? When you wake up in the morning, are you all set? I'm going to go out and I'm going to find the next great thing, or is there a process involved?
I mean, a lot of it is I meet with a lot of inventor groups. I travel around the country and I speak to them. I talk about my book, and of course I meet a lot of inventors that way. I go to a lot of trade shows and meet a lot of inventors that way. Being on a show like the Today Show ups my sort of profile, so that some will reach out to me from that. And I think I also have a great relationship with PR people. So sometimes you have an invention that's so low key, but the person has the wherewithal to find a really good small PR agency to work with, and those guys really know me very well. So I get approached from them. And that's another place where I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can grow this product. Are you interested in a possible licensing deal? If I see something that really screams, that it needs to go to the next level.
So your Gadget Nation book, how many gadgets you got in there?
The book has 107. And they're sort of like almost like each one's a case study. Someone told me it's the perfect bathroom book because, they're not connected. It's like sausages. You can read one and put it down anywhere, or grab it in the middle and read that one chapter. Each story is self-contained. And you really get to hear a story about how someone came up with the idea and how they brought it to market. And then the ending is if they had success or failure. And what I think makes my book a little different than a lot of other books out there is that I have products in there that didn't make money. Great ideas that didn't go anywhere, and I have some that are kind of silly ideas that have made money, and I think that's part of what makes the book a fun read, because you really don't know which way it's going, and just because a product may seem like genius doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bring in money, and just because an idea is silly doesn't mean it won't bring in money. There's almost no relationship.
I can name 1,000 of them that people would say, "Are you kidding me?" And then they go on to make millions and millions of dollars. But I also I also know the strategy and the tactics behind that. Like the Snuggie and the singing trout and the spray bald stuff and all of that. But. So at the end of the day, that means there was money behind them, because they just don't all of a sudden be stupid products and then make a ton of money.
I know a fair number of people in the infomercial world, and they don't randomly pick things and just say, let's put in
That's right.
$15 million. They do a ton of research.
That's right.
And I brought them products, and I'm like sitting there on the edge of my seat as it goes from level to level to level, hoping it keeps passing the test so that it will get the big push. And then I'll get, a nice percentage on it.
Right.
But what happens is, sometimes they test it out here and they test it here, and all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't do well. They chuck it and they start going for other products. So if you see something on an infomercial, for the most part, it's usually been researched to death.
Yeah, well, that's the business I'm in, right? And I'm in direct response, so 20 years. And it's all, but I have the other argument on the other side of it is sometimes, they churn them and burn them, right? So they test them and toss them is what I call. So they'll test it, but are they really testing it? We do campaign management of direct response campaigns, and a lot of times people will come to me. I mean, there was a rockin' product. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if they displayed it at the Houseware show, but I was talking to them backstage, and their product is a little applique. It's called the Magic Mirror. And it's it's an applique that comes from when the sports guys, in Formula One racing, so the helmets don't fog up. It's this applique, it's this technology that goes over the hood of their helmet, right? So he made it, this guy Richard, he made this little mirror applique that goes on the mirror, and so when you get out of the bathroom shower, you have this section of your mirror, this like little section of your mirror that does not fog up. All right.
I love it. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Anthony Sullivan, Sully was in the spot. God bless him, because I called him to see how everything went, because I knew maybe their back end was not perfect. And, I'm not going to say on air how it went, but now he's working with different vendors that I've told him to go to. But I was floored at the amount of money he spent in media and the amount of units that he sold. And because the product is a rockin' product. It's a rockin' product. Why wouldn't you buy that for $10?
That's an obvious product that I could see anybody jumping to. Absolutely.
Right. So obviously the reason was because the test was all set up wrong and done wrong. So back to my point of the infomercial companies, they test them and turn them and burn them and churn them, and they throw them against the wall to see if they stick. And after 20 years of doing this, my argument and my bitch is always that, hey, well, why don't you try a few things, intelligently? So there are ways to bring products to market using direct response in an intelligent way and not going to the big boys that just kind of test them and toss them. So just a word.
Right. And that just goes back to what I was saying about licensing deals in general. If you get a deal with the wrong company, then you got a deal, but you're not going to get sales. You're not going to get money. It's really about finding that exact right match of right product, the right company, right product,
yes.
The right infomercial production company.
Right.
The marriage has to be a good one. If it's not a good one, it's not going to pay off for either side.
Peter?
Yes, Wendy?
Are you finding... Excuse me, Steve, but I have to keep this guy in line, Peter.
Okay,
right.
Do it.
Peter, do you think are we going to a commercial right?
Yeah, this would be a good time to break for a commercial.
Okay, and we can't talk to Steve off air while we're
Yeah, there's no way to do that.
Commercial.
So unfortunately, Steve, you'll just be listening to the commercials, and we'll be back.
Okay.
And, we're going to run.
And I'll be slapping Peter around while we're off.
Good. Hit him hard.
All right, so stand by. We're going to go to a commercial break. Are you ready? Are you ready there, Pete? Not really.
Direct Avenue is much more than a leading direct response TV media buyer. We specialize in the expert planning, brand building, analysis, and management of short-form and branded DRTV ad campaigns. We manage direct response TV ad campaigns for clients throughout the United States and Canada. As a Direct Avenue client, you'll benefit from big agency relationships and resources, but receive boutique agency service with the flexibility and creativity to plan and manage a TV ad campaign that meets the particular needs of your company. For more information, visit directavenue.com. When you contact us, mention you heard about us on the C-Spot radio show and receive a free analysis of your TV ad campaign.
In an average lifetime, 1,500,000 minutes are spent on the toilet.
People spend a lot of time on the toilet because they're not going very easy.
So what's the problem?
When you sit on a toilet, you're at a 90-degree angle.
Nature didn't want us to do it that way.
This causes pushing, straining, hemorrhoids, constipation.
That's crazy.
Everybody goes.
It's what we all do. We're human beings.
We want to create a product that is great for humanity.
Making it easy for people to improve their lives.
That's all we care about.
Well, go time just got easier. Introducing Easy Go Pro, the only way to go.
Human bodies are made by nature, and there is a position that is more natural than sitting on a toilet with a 90-degree angle of your legs.
Anatomically, we were designed to eliminate at a 35-degree angle.
What Easy Go Pro does is it elevates your feet
to put your hips in the proper position for easier elimination.
You just sit, lift, and go in a natural position.
The benefits list is this long from a pure health perspective.
A healthy colon is encouraged by doctors for all ages.
The key to vitality, it's the key to longevity, it's the key to your health.
That is really the essence.
Easy Go Pro is simple, safe, and it works. Sturdy but lightweight, it's perfect for the entire family. When not in use, it slides easily out of the way.
is like the perfect height for a 2-year-old to rest his feet on.
If you make that little change, you will realize immediately the benefits.
And that's the reason that we created it.
At EasyGoPro.com, we guarantee it will work for everyone. Be a healthy goer. Order now at EasyGoPro.com. Try it for 70 days. If you don't absolutely feel better, just send it back for a full product refund. Go Time just got healthier at EasyGoPro.com.
And we are back on the C-Spot, Going to Market with Wendi and Peter, here on ubnradio.com, Channel 1, every Thursday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. And our special guest today is Mr. Steve Greenberg. Welcome back, Steve.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Definitely. So we just heard a word from our sponsor, Direct Avenue, who we're very grateful for sponsoring the show. And then we saw a little bit from the EasyGo Pro, which I love.
Which stars me.
Yes, which stars Wendi. It's an excellent, excellent product.
If I'm going to star in anything, I have to do it myself. That's sick.
Now, Steve, that's a product. That's a product
right.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Steve, now this is just me talking, but that's a product I could see on the Today Show, the EasyGo Pro.
Oh, Peter, really?
Well, you know, what I tell everybody, and I would tell Wendy the same thing too, because there's so many products, so many PR people, more than my little brain can hold. So what I do now is I put on if you go to stevegreenberg.tv, and on the top is a little box that says how to get your product on TV, and you click on it. There's information there, which basically, just to summarize it, it's to follow me on Twitter at SteveTV, follow me on Facebook at /SteveTV, or go to Harrow or ProfNet, and I generally quote every theme I'm given. So when the Today Show gives me my next theme, let's say my next theme is back to school or whatnot, I'll then put that up there. And then if your product fits that theme, I encourage you to reach out to me so then I can put together my list for the Today Show or for Dr. Oz or for Jimmy Fallon.
Dr. Oz.
So,
Dr. Oz. You know, Squatty Potty was on Dr. Oz. I worked on that product also, but
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
I think it's a very cool product, yeah.
Yeah, well, EasyGo Pro is a better product than Squatty Potty.
Okay.
Yeah. EasyGo Pro solves all of the, and I can say this because I worked on both. It solves all of the challenges that people have, the consumer has, and the challenges being ours is smaller. Ours is professionally ergonomically designed by a German award-winning designer who actually has this stuff in MoMA. It is the perfect height, fits all toilets. It's not for squatting. It's elevating your feet. It's elegant looking. It just is a better, there's a lot of solutions. Okay, let's talk marketing and products and inventions. And there's a lot of solutions that are out there. I lost sound in one of my ears, but a lot of solutions that are out there, but you never should only have one solution. There's several solutions for elevating your feet and putting yourself in the correct anatomical position on the market. The key to creating a product is taking an existing proof of concept category and how do you improve on it? And that's really what, the can opener's been improved on 1,000 times. Everything is improved on over time. And that's all we do with the EasyGo Pro. We just improved on what already was on the market. And I can't, it's not my invention. Absolutely not. But it is we just improved on what's on the market. That's all.
There you go.
And Wendy, and really, I have to say my hands are tied so much with Dr. Oz and the Today Show and Jimmy Fallon and the other shows I do because the producers have a very narrow focus of what they want to talk about. They'll say, we want weight loss gadgets under $30 or something like that.
Yeah,
so I put that out on Twitter and Facebook, and it has to hit that mark or they don't want to see it. So if people follow me on Facebook and Twitter and follow me on Harrow and ProfNet, they'll hear what I'm looking for. And again, if they have a product that fits, I want to hear about it. I'm anxious to get their emails.
And that was just
That's
me
great.
kind of
was just Peter
talking off the cuff there like that, Steve.
I already paid you. I already begged you. I already did everything I could. I sent you everything I possibly could, and you haven't said yes yet. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
A week from today, Dr. Oz could send me an email saying we want bathroom products or we're looking for something,
and that's great.
Now, the truth of that is, I may not remember your product at that moment. That's why you have to follow me on Twitter, so that when I put out the fleece, you jump to it and say, "Oh,
Peter,
yeah, that's right.
Peter.
I'm perfect for that. Here, you got to look at that."
Hey, Peter, will you follow Steve every day diligently? Because Steve, look at me. Well, if you were watching, I would be going, look at me.
Now.
Look at my eyes, honey. I am not going to just sit around following you, waiting for you to ask for about your product.
Help me help you. Help me help you.
All right. Well, we'll just do that together. Don't worry about it. We'll think of something, because once my television commercial goes on air, everybody's going to want me. I know.
You got a great product. I really do think you've got something that when the people know about it,
that's right.
You're going to get those sales.
They just have to know about it, and I've already worked on the other campaign, so I know that's the case, or else I wouldn't have invested my own money in this one. I'm not that.
Right.
I work with inventors for 20 years, and to work in this business for 20 years, you better know that I had all the data I needed to put my own money into this project. You know what I mean? So.
And truth of the matter is that your product screams infomercial. Some products really aren't designed for it, but yours really is, because it requires so much information for people to make
it's a 2 minutes. It's only a 2 minute, and the thing was with standards and practices, it was pretty tough. So that's how I came up with that creative way of talking about, nobody wants to hear about a colon, and nobody wants to hear about how it doesn't open up all the way if you sit on a toilet, the regular way. So I had to dance around that, because I wrote Squatty Potty's commercial, and I wrote my commercial, and they're a little bit similar, but I had to dress it up with happy jumping people and T-shirts and make it simple, or else standards and practices weren't going to approve it. They're not going to let me air it on television. It's pretty difficult.
Dr. Oz, I did a Go Bidet on Dr. Oz, which is turns your toilet into a bidet.
Yeah.
And I showed that on Dr. Oz, and we obviously had to talk about that messy business, and it went off very well. He loved it. The audience loved
Programming.
it. It was a good segment.
Programming. It's a great segment. Everybody should talk about it. I was in I worked on the campaign Dual Action Cleanse, which set the colon cleansing supplement category on fire in 2005, and it's just it's a topic. And I went to the American Academy of Nutrition, and I brought several diet products to market. And the essence of it is that it is such a critical part of your health. And just because we do something one way doesn't make it right. And it's just an easy, simple solution for the entire family to be healthier. But I forgot what I was going for there, Peter. Dang, you and your good looks just get me.
Geez, criminy.
I just get confused sometimes. I had a point. Sorry, I lost it.
So, Steve, if people do want to follow you on Twitter, it's at Steve TV. That's pretty basic.
Right, at Steve TV. And if you want to do Facebook, you go to facebook.com/Steve TV. That'll get you to my fan page. And again, that's where I post all that stuff about what I'm looking for each month, as the Today Show gives me their theme, or Dr. Oz, or whatnot. And folks can just, if they want to contact me, they can always reach out through my website, which is stevegreenberg.tv, or they can, I'm really accessible. I'm pretty easy to find, between Twitter and Facebook and whatnot.
Yeah, you are pretty easy to find. Steve, I have a question for you. Because Peter was telling me that you've got a children's video series coming out in August.
Well, here's the story behind that. I actually did this series about 15 years ago. And so if you want to see what I looked like 15 years ago.
We've actually got a clip of it.
You have a clip of it?
Yeah, you can show, that'd be great. But that whole idea was that I had done a kids show called Dr. Steve's Amazing Science Seekers, and so I wanted to come out with some kid videos. We thought it'd be a good thing to do. So it's been 15 years. They were on VHS tape then, so we thought we'd put them on DVD and see if we could sell them on Amazon. So we're launching them at the beginning of August. Great for back to school, super educational, very funny. I think grown-ups will get a kick out of it as much as the kids, and a lot of information. Some silliness, but a lot of information.
So we're going to show a clip here. I'm going to show a clip of Dr. Steve, and then we'll show a quick clip of the gators
3 times
and
fast.
Other gators and other icky swamp creatures.
I'm watching my thing.
Yeah, gators, crocs, and other yucky swamp creatures.
So first we're going to see a funny clip, and these are great because, Steve, you look a little younger and you're kind of goofy, and you got the 90s jeans on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a quick clip of the opening of Doc Steve's Amazing Science.
Hi, I'm over here. I'm Doc Steve. Whoa! That's better. And welcome to
Doc Steve's Amazing Science Seekers.
So, who are these amazing science seekers? Well, they're the men and women of today who are devoting their lives to make the world a better place tomorrow. And a science seeker is really anyone who wants to know why stars twinkle, what makes a tree grow, how come we have 10 fingers.
Genes are amazing,
Science
Steve.
seekers want to know the why, what, and how about everything. Now, I should warn you, at the end of this program, there will be a quickie quiz, so be prepared. Our first science seekers want to know how our brain works.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official Greenberg Frog
Here you are challenging a frog to jump.
Peter, can I ask you a question? Because we're not hearing it. Do the people watching?
Yeah, watching.
Fargo the bullfrog. He's called Fargo because he
Did Steve have Reeboks?
goes far.
Those Reeboks? Oh, I'm watching a delay.
And
I'm
over
watching a
here,
delay. Sorry.
Steve Greenberg, 160 pounds of pure power. He's called Steve Greenberg because that's his name.
Are the people
On your
listening
mark,
on the radio?
get set, jump.
Yeah, we just don't hear the sound of video in the studio, just like our commercials. So a frog has just outjumped
wins.
Steve.
Let's watch that instant replay.
That's just wrong.
What an upset!
And now we're getting it in slow-mo.
Stomped by
Good,
a
funny
frog.
stuff.
That's just so.
It's got a good sense of humor. I think kids will love it. And, you know, the kids aren't going to know that it's 15 years old, right, Steve? Unless
don't
they
think
know
so.
who you are
None
now.
of the facts have changed, thank goodness. So the facts of animals 15 years ago are the same today, and the only thing that's changed is I'm a little older. My photographer and I are still good friends, Joel Kaplan. So we keep saying young Joel and young Steve. We are now going to help out older Joel and older Steve.
Well, actually, Steve, you're being very hard on yourself because I would not. I don't think you look that different. And I'm not saying that to be nice so that you get my product on Dr. Oz. I'm only saying that because I think that's absolutely true.
It's just a stone. It's just the stonewashed jeans that are the dead giveaway.
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, the thing about my haircut is it hasn't changed at all. So it's not like I've been a slave to fashion when it comes to hair. So that's kind of saved me a little bit over the years.
And now, Steve, I'm showing the actual covers to the videos coming out. One's Gators, Crocs, and Other Yucky Swamp Creatures. And
I saw.
the other is Baby Animals, Mammals, and More. And I thought it's kind of funny that your one that is called Gators, Crocs, and Other Yucky Swamp Creatures, featuring gators. I told you this in our communication before the show, but it's kind of funny since you wrote the book Gadget Nation, and now you have a Gators DVD coming out. You could be from gadgets to gators.
I took your line and I immediately threw it to my photographer, Joel, and he cracked up about it 2 years. But I'm a guy from Gadgets to Gators, so I think there's truth in that. And I was a TV news reporter, 2 careers back, and I did that for 10 years. So this was like after I was a TV news reporter. This is sort of how I wanted to use those skills to see if I could start something in that direction. And I really love doing kids programming. So it was a nice fit.
So that's for sale. That's for sale on Amazon.
Amazon, absolutely. Probably not at this very moment, but in the next week or so, it's going to hit, and certainly August 1st.
Okay, great. And then when is the next time that we get to see you on Dr. Oz? Do you know?
Dr. Oz, I don't know. I think I'm doing the Today Show like second week of August, but we haven't nailed down the date yet because the woman who does that is on vacation this week.
Okay.
And because usually after I do one segment, I'm told my date for my next segment, and I'll get my theme. I'm kind of guessing it'll be back to school stuff because it's August, but it could be almost anything. But I'm kind of guessing back to school.
Can I ask you one more? Just what one or two or three, because usually towards the end of the show I start getting really questioning people. What is the most important thing, or what is key advice? If you could give one bit of advice to inventors, what would that be?
Well, I think the biggest mistake inventors make is keeping the idea in their head and even working on it privately and not sharing it with their little world. Their big fear is that someone's going to steal the idea, and I get that. And there may be a slight grain of reality to that, but I think that's really overblown. The hard part isn't really coming up with the idea. The hard part is sticking to it and taking it to market. And no one's going to steal that away from you because nobody else really wants to put in that kind of energy. But it's important to talk to your brother-in-law and to talk to other people to find out if this is an idea that floats. How much would they pay for this idea? Would you pay $9.95 for this corn on the cob buttering thing? Would you not pay? I mean, find out. So before you put all of this energy into it, see if there's really a market. Do people really want this? Would they really pay real money for it? And how could it be better? Maybe you can take that idea and tweak it and improve it. And those are only ways you can find that out is by talking to other people. And then go to an inventors association in your city near you. This way you can hear from other inventors. You can meet the experts. You don't go to a bad company. You don't go to one of those terrible invention things that are
Oh
advertised
God, there's so
on
many
late
of
night
them.
TV.
Yes, on late night TV.
There's a whole
right.
cottage industry that feeds off of inventors and takes their money. You don't want to go down that route.
No.
So,
and I
these
can
are the kinds of things
I
you
can
need to
mention
learn.
them. I mean, I'm free to mention them. It's my frickin' radio show, and I've dealt with all of them, and that's the reason I created the Safe Forum. Did you not figure that out? The Education and Safe Forum for inventors. Yeah, it is the truth.
I've been offered a lot of money to speak for those companies, and I've, as much as I would love a lot of money, I turned it down because it's just it's the third rail of invention. You touch it and you're gone.
Unlike George Foreman.
I don't want to do that.
So anyway, yeah, I know. I've been there, done that, for sure, because it's $25,000 later just to get a little booklet in the mail. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. And in my book, I'd say about 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 of the inventors unfortunately went down that path.
Yes.
Lost between $8,000 to $12,000 or more.
Yeah.
And that's sad. It's a shame because that's money they could be using for really important things.
I always tell people that, because I hear that people will come to me and say they've lost $12,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, and all I have to do is say, was it a company in Kansas? And they always say yes. And there's these companies out there that they scour the internet and they look for products that are consumer products, right? Mostly we're talking about consumer inventions here, consumer products, and they say, oh, this is going to be great. This is great for a television commercial. All you have to do is pay this amount of money and we're going to air it on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stations and blah, 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 and they literally lose all of their money. And I know why, and they can't understand why. And so then what happens is they get a bad taste in their mouth because they don't know that there's maybe 3 companies in this country that if a deal sounds too good to be true, then it's not true.
It probably is.
Then just run the other way. Put those shoes on and run as fast as you can. Get yourself a great licensing attorney, somebody that understands the kind of the category you're in. You know what I mean, Steve? It's like there's so many different types of licensing deals depending on what category your product even falls into. So
and another thing, even like a patent. It isn't like a patent, it's like a driver's license. You get a driver's license, my driver's license, the same as your driver's license. There are good patents and there are bad patents.
Right.
There are good patent attorneys, there are bad patent attorneys. So just because you have a patent doesn't mean as much as who did it for you. Is it a really good one? Those are all important questions to look into.
And what do you think? I mean, I know that, your claims is what makes a great, strong patent. It's your, number one, have a utility patent. A design patent gets you maybe a half a bag of popcorn, if that, right? But, if you have something that's, and do your trademark search and understand the difference between a patent and a trademark and a copyright, 3 very basic things that most inventors really do not understand the difference.
And if you're going to go into this world, you really need to read some books, mine included, but other books as well, and you need to do your homework. You need to Google these terms, know the difference between a patent and a provisional patent.
Right.
And it's all doable. You just have to do a little homework. Nothing is easy.
And the thing is, I think, and I hope you agree with me, is that we can't dismiss the the fact that, invention is the mother of, or mother is the there's something. What's the saying, Steve?
Invention is
necessity is the mother
of invention. Thank you. And that in this article that I read with that interviewed you, I love that you said no matter what it is that you picks up during the day, it had to have been invented and created. Peter, we can go a little over because nobody after us.
Each thing around us has a story. I mean, every lamp, every remote control, the design of everything, even pens or whatever you're looking at as you look around the room or your world, there's a story behind it. There are real men and women behind it who slaved over it, who lost fortunes, made fortunes, had lots of disappointments along the way. Every product has a story behind it.
Well, since I met you, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the plumber that came up and you kind of smacked yourself on your forehead and you said he was talking about the tank that wobbles and this little piece of plastic, right? And you said, oh, you don't realize you have a problem until somebody shows you that you have a problem. I've done his commercial now for him, and it's pretty amazing because that stupid little product, it's like, no, I know how to talk about it for 2 minutes. I mean, it's crazy, but it's a little boring product, but you got to make fun around it.
I've talked about that product to other folks as well because it's again one of those, it solves a problem that I didn't know I had. But I'm glad it does it because it's a great idea. Simple, cheap solution.
Yeah, super simple, super cheap solution. And it's called Securitank, by the way. So, yeah.
And those are always great products, right? The ones that you didn't know you need, and then you got to have it.
Yeah, well, it's
exactly.
Yeah, and you have to. The key is that in your marketing, you have to be able to convince the consumer. It's a preventive product. He has another one that we did a commercial for, but I can't disclose what that's for. And that's a dynamic. He was actually at the Today Show, by the way. He went there and met with Kathy and Hoda just because somebody knew. Whatever, he was. He went backstage and because we're building the Johnny V persona of the good-looking plumber. That is actually a freaking plumber. Go figure. So anyway,
he was good.
Yeah, and he really knows his stuff when it comes to plumbing. He's, I tell him, I said, so you're the plumber every woman wants to sleep with and every man wants to be. Yeah, and that was from Austin Powers actually, but he didn't use the plumber part.
Yeah, I know.
So Steve, thank you for being here. I can't wait to hopefully I'll see you in Chicago.
Totally a pleasure. It was Wendi, always great seeing you. Peter, pleasure meeting you.
You too, Steve.
And please keep in touch. And I hope your listeners reach out if they have a really good product idea that they might want a licensing deal. They should definitely reach out to me. And also, if they've got something that they think is able to go on the Today Show or Dr. Oz or whatnot, if they follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Harrow, and ProfNet, I'll be thrilled to put it on TV if possible.
And
that would be great.
At Steve TV, the Twitter handle.
At Steve TV.
At Steve TV.
And,
all right.
And I'll be following you with a vengeance.
Okay. Hey, and I want people to buy that, my shameless plug, I want them to get those DVDs. They've got little kids in their life. It's a great
say the name of
and a fun DVD.
What's it called again?
Baby Animals, Mammals, and More, and Gators, Crocs, and Other Yucky Swamp Creatures will be on Amazon in the next week or so, certainly by August 1st.
Okay, perfect. Great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Have a great day.
Take care.
Have a good 4th of July.
Care. You too.
All right. Okay, bye. So, Peter.
Yes, Wendi.
Now, because we were a couple of minutes late getting started, Jamal said it was okay if we went a couple of minutes over. I wanted to, if Dr. Allen, by the way, Dr. Allen, if you are watching, hello. Hello, Dr. Allen.
Hi, Dr. Allen.
Say hello to Dr. Allen.
Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Allen.
And Marino, if you're watching, which you said you were going to be watching, so hello, ti amo, whatever. Anyway, Peter.
Te amo.
You're not coming to 4th of July.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
I have a big barbecue on 4th of July because they close our street off, and Peter came last year, and it's a bunch of international people
incredible, yeah.
drinking sausage. I mean, eating sausage, eating burgers. Actually, Marino bought a very lean pack of hamburger meat last night, and we made burgers. And it was like, what? Because it tasted like not good. Hey, Ma, if you're watching, I'm taking that back to Costco today, and I'm going to get the one that's got some fat in it.
You need some fat in your
You need
burger.
some fat in your barbecue burger.
But it's amazing because the fireworks are like right there,
right in
on
front
your
of my
street.
house.
So incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. So don't look up my address and come because we won't let you in. No, I'm kidding. Everybody's invited. No, not true. Anyway, the C Spot. This is the C Spot with Wendi and Peter.
Yes, it is.
And it's and we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go to Kaiser and see what's wrong with my thrombotic hand here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And go sit in an emergency or urgent. Hopefully they have urgent care over there. Peter, what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, well, my plans are to see some fireworks with a certain lovely lady.
Certain lovely lady.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. Where are you going to do that? You're not doing it in my house, obviously.
Not at your house, yeah. We have probably heading toward the water.
Oh, well, that's not towards my house.
Right.
Yeah. It's right that direction. Where are you going to go?
Most likely Santa Monica Pierish.
Oh, they have the fireworks there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of places they don't have them. That's why. Manhattan Beach doesn't have fireworks anymore and stuff like that. So anyway, all right, well, happy 4th, everybody, and thank you all of our veterans and everybody that keeps us independent.
Totally.
And thank God that we are not going through what they're going through in other parts of the world because it ain't cool. So we'll see you all next week.